Hey, sorry about that, Josh. Sorry, Mike. Hey, Josh, I was curious about the lack of time on the field. Obviously, it affects all facets of the offensive operation, but in particular, controlling tempo, trying to go up tempo, something that you guys have done in every situation in the past, whether to start fast or, of course, playing come from behind. How difficult has it been to, with the moving pieces and also the lack of time on the field, to kind of develop that part of the game for you?
I think that any part of the game will improve with practice repetitions. Some weeks we choose to do that more than others in terms of that specific part of our game. But I think there's certain things that we feel very comfortable with now, and then there's obviously a long list of things that we want to try to improve on. And looking forward to getting out on the practice field this week and trying to improve on as many of those as we can.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Nick O'Malley and then Ben Volen.
Hi, Josh. I wanted to ask you about the team's offensive line situation on Sunday. What are the challenges that come with losing multiple guys, whether it's due to COVID-19 or a mid-game injury? How hard is it to try and, on the fly, figure out the best starting five and weigh the challenges of getting the best guy at his natural position or just trying to get the best five out there?
Yeah, well, I mean, look, the more injuries or more issues you have, the more multiples come into play. I give our guys a lot of credit. I mean, we had a lot of guys play multiple positions and prepare to play multiple positions last week, which is, they deserve a lot of credit for being able to go in there and function. Some guys played on the same side of the line of scrimmage, like Isaiah, left guard, left tackle. Then you had Justin, who played on the left side and then the right side. Same thing with Mike. So there's words that talk to you when you're on the left and words that talk to you when you're on the right, and just overall that communication with Joe to the five guys that are out there. It's a challenge, but that's what we prepare hard for. Our guys prepared hard last week for all the potential possibilities that we might encounter on Sunday. And they went out there and they played hard and lined up and did their job for the most part and gave us a chance.
And what did you see from Yelda Furholt in his first NFL snaps after missing all of last season with IR and coming onto the field this year?
Yeah, Yoda played hard. Yoda's a physical guy, works hard. He's worked hard to improve at center and guard, and he stepped in there, and I thought he performed admirably. Like I said, his first opportunity to get in there and play, and we tried to play physical, and he did some good things. And like everybody, there's some things we certainly got to fix and improve on. But I thought he went in there and competed.
Thank you.
Next up, Ben Volen and then Mike Reese.
Hey, good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Ben.
Julian Edelman has had 3 straight games now where he hasn't been able to make much of an impact on the stat sheet. For the health of this offense, do you feel like you need to find ways to get him going a little bit?
Well, I think everybody's the best way to play offense is for everybody to contribute and to find ways for everybody to contribute. And that's certainly my job. And, I'm going to try to do the best I can to get him involved, but also, try to get production from all the skill positions on the field. Every offensive unit is always better when, there's a lot of people that are contributing and you got to stop a lot of things. So, whether it's our receivers, our backs, our tight ends, the more guys that are producing and making plays and creating first downs and opportunities to make bigger plays, the better off we're going to be. So certainly Julian's always a big part of what we want to try to do, and I need to do a good job of trying to get him going. But I think in the grand scheme of things, we just all of us need to do our jobs well and try to get contributions from everybody to be the most effective we can be.
And kind of a similar question on N'Keal Harry. He's had a couple of games now where he's been a little quiet. For a young guy like him, how much is like the lack of practice and the uncertainty with is that maybe going to affect a guy like him more than more of a veteran player?
I don't know. I mean, look, we all know we were dealing with those kind of things, but I mean, Denver had guys missing. We're not going to use any of those things as an excuse, and we're going to play Thursday game at some point and not practice at all, and just do some walkthroughs. So, we all got to go out there and do our jobs properly. The situations are what they are. We can't control those. What we can control is our preparation and our ability to go out there and focus on our assignments. And like I said before, I got to try to do a good job of getting everybody involved, and allow them an opportunity to produce and be productive within the offense. And that's what I'm going to try to do this week. And we got a lot to improve on. There's no doubt about that. And looking forward to having an opportunity to work on that starting tomorrow.
Thanks a lot, John.
Yep.
Next up, Mike Reese, and then Evan Lazar.
Hey, good morning, Josh. I had two-part question, one looking back, one looking ahead. Just sort of bigger picture, I'm curious what you're seeing in terms of separation from the receivers on a consistent basis. Like, are you seeing a consistent separation from them? And then looking ahead, 49er defense with Coach Saleh, what challenges do they present?
Yep. It's the first question. There's always an opportunity for us to do things that can improve that. I thought there were times, certainly the other day, and there has been all year where we've done a good job. There's a lot that goes into creating separation. The first thing is what the scheme is and what we're asking the players to do. There's release, there's the stem of the route, there's the top of the route, and there's the finish of the play. And so, the combination of all those things being done properly, combined with what we're actually doing, we need to do a lot of those things right. And so when we do them right, I think we end up with success. And when we don't, we're not like any other team. We're like every other team in the league where, if you make a couple mistakes on those things, you might get covered a little better. So we work hard at it, practice every week. We try to, do a good job of focusing in on each part of the route that allows you to gain separation. And again, this league's a league about tight coverage. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of big windows to throw the ball and catch the ball in. You're going to have to do a good job of doing those things right and giving yourself a chance against good people in coverage. So we'll continue to try to work on that. With the 49ers, Coach Saleh does a great job. I mean, the first thing that jumps off the tape is how hard they play. They got great team speed. They play with great effort. They're a very disruptive unit. Their front's really active, get up the field, play in the one gap system, try to create penetration and negative plays. The linebackers are just about as fast as we're going to see. 54 jumps off the tape. Warner just jumps off the tape because he gets to so many plays that you're not sure that he can get to, but he gets there. And then they do a great job of taking advantage of mistakes that the offense make because they play a lot of zone defense, and so there's a lot of eyeballs on your mistakes. So if you make a mistake, they're usually there to capitalize it and create a turnover or some type of a negative play. And they got really good team speed, so they get to the ball fast. They challenge everything. They don't give up a lot of big plays. This is going to be a real big challenge for us. We're excited to get started on.
Next, we'll go to Evan Lazar and then Phil Perry. Go ahead, Evan.
Hey, Josh, I just wanted to ask you about the option runs with Cam and just how you've seen teams defend those in recent weeks and if it's changed at all from what you guys saw, let's say, in week 1 against Miami.
Yeah, each team plays them a little different. And we've done more at certain times of the year than others. But that's football. There's football. You're never going to continue to run one thing one way in this league for very long because the coaches are too good, the players are too good, and they're going to find a way to stop something that you've done, and you're going to have to counter that and adjust to it. And so that's our job. And so we'll look forward to continue to try to make each aspect of our offense productive. But if you stay the same too long in our league, you're probably gonna see a diminishing return there. So each team's defended it a little differently. Denver defended it different than the previous teams that have seen the different things we've done, and so it's on to the next thing, and we'll see. We'll see what we can come up with here this week.
And we'll go to Phil Perry, and then last question to Chris Ryan.
Hey Josh, how's it going?
Good, Phil. How are you doing?
Pretty good. You just talked a little bit about how coverage is good every week, and so maybe there's not always going to be separation. When it comes to the quarterback, and with Cam in particular, is it something that you can try to coach to allow him to maybe take a few more risks if there's not a lot of separation there? And is that something that just might take some time with a guy who's still obviously pretty new to the offense and pretty new to some of his teammates?
Well, I think a quarterback's job is to take care of the ball and try to get us into the end zone. And so you're certainly going to have to make some good throws against tight coverage. I mean, that's the nature of the National Football League. And at the same time, you're weighing risks and rewards on a play-by-play basis. That's the quarterback's job. And so I think the more familiar you get with the players you're playing with, the more comfortable you get with the system that you're in, the more you feel like you have the ability to make those decisions and do the things necessary to win. So Cam's always tried to do that. He works really hard at it. Our skill group works really hard at it. And like I said, we know we need to improve in a lot of areas. And there's a lot of things that we saw on the film on Sunday that we can get better at. And we're excited about having an opportunity to get to work on that. But there's no shortcut to that. It's just about work and repetition and creating really good habits and trust with each other so that you can go out there and do it under pressure.
Thanks, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Last question, we'll go to Chris Ryan.
Hey, Josh. Just your thoughts on the rhythm and tempo of the offense against the Broncos, and how do you go about establishing better rhythm, higher tempo for the group, and what is significant about that, particularly in your offense?
Well, I think anytime you want to try to establish rhythm, that is a direct correlation to positive plays and execution. And so, if you go out there and you execute 8, 10, 12 plays in a row, you're going to stay on the field and you're going to give yourself an opportunity to get into a rhythm and continue to play that way. So, it's not easy to get into a rhythm just because you want to. You can't really say, hey, let's just do things quicker and magically, create first downs. First downs are a result of good preparation and good execution. And so, in order to get into a good rhythm offensively, which we've had good stretches of doing that this year, it's about what the guys on the field are able to do, and we've got a lot of faith and confidence in our group, and got to try to have a good week of practice here, and it starts there on the practice field in terms of building our overall execution and developing our good habits and fundamentals so that we can use them, under pressure when the game starts on Sundays.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Josh.
Thanks, guys.